Macmillan Audio presents Most Ardently, a Pride and Prejudice remix. Written by Gabe Novoa. Narrated for you by Harrison Knights.
To my trans siblings, we deserve romances that will sweep us off our feet too. That's why this book is for you. Author's note. Most Ardently is Oliver's story, and in some ways it was mine as well. You'll find in this book a trans boy who has not yet come out to his family, navigating a rigidly cisheteronormative society. The nature of this story means that Oliver's dead name is used repeatedly. He frequently experiences dysphoria, and he is misgendered by characters in the book, though never by the narrative. For many of us, these are wounds that can be painful to revisit. So while I did my best to broach these difficult moments with empathy, you know what you can handle best. Chapter 1. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single boy in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a future wife, unless that boy was Oliver Bennet. Not that Oliver was in possession of a good fortune, mind you, but it seemed impossible to him that having such a fortune would so completely transform his disinterest in one day having a wife, or, more importantly, being one. So it was with no small amount of dismay that he listened to his mother share the exciting news about one Charles Bingley. Mrs. Bennet yanked on the lacing of the stay, pressed tight beneath his breasts, as she said, "Have you girls heard that Netherfield has been let?" Oliver gritted his teeth as the cinching fabric pushed his chest up and forward, accentuating a shape that made him utterly nauseous. And at the equally suffocating address of his sisters, and him, as girls. This could only be expected, however, as Mrs. Bennet, like most of the world, believed that Oliver was the second eldest Bennet daughter, rather than the only Bennet son. Oliver could count on one hand the number of people who knew the truth, and Mrs. Bennet was not one of them. Stay tied, Mrs. Bennet pushed the wooden busk into the front opening, forcing him to stand up straight and further emphasizing the curves of his chest. There were few articles of clothing Oliver loathed more than the busked stay, if only because the pressure of the piece of wood, pressed between his breasts, was a constant reminder of a part of his body Oliver never wanted to see. Satisfied and oblivious to his discomfort, Mrs. Bennet wrestled the emerald gown over Oliver's head and pulled it down, adjusting as necessary, as it fell over the horrifying undergarments. Oliver shifted on the stool, on which he stood, doing his best not to glower at his reflection in the mirror. He hated seeing himself in a dress, which was unfortunate, given the amount of time he was forced to spend in one. Done up like this, his hair tied into two simple braids, and a green ribbon to match the gown, he looked like a stranger. "Netherfield has been let. To whom?" Jane asked, seated beside the window next to the mirror. She shot Oliver a sympathetic smile, while he averted his gaze, studiously avoiding his own reflection. "A young man by the name of Bingley, with an income of 4,000 or 5,000 a year," Mrs. Bennet responded. "How fortunate this turn of events is for you girls. I've already asked Mr. Bennet to introduce himself and invite him for tea." Kitty and Lydia giggled on the other side of the room. "Is he very handsome?" Lydia asked. Mrs. Bennet frowned. "Well, I haven't yet met him, dear, but that should hardly be a priority." "Do you know if he'll be at the Meryton ball tonight?" Kitty asked. "Why, I should hope so." Mrs. Bennet beamed at Oliver's reflection as she finished smoothing out the gown. "Surely one of you girls will catch Mr. Bingley's eye tonight, if he does attend. I think it quite impossible that he won't notice such handsome company." Oliver stepped off the stool. It wasn't so bad when he couldn't see himself.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?